Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Rao and today we're going to talk about equations. Now the best place to start would probably just to be describing what exactly an equation is. What is an equation? And essentially it's just a statement. It's a statement that says two values or two quantities are equal to each other. And we can see we have that root word there. So that's denoted by the equal sign. We could have a very simple equation such as this that says 4 equals 4. And that's very simple to us. We know that if I have 4 goats and you have 4 goats, we have the same number of goats. So I make an equation like that, but unfortunately in algebra, it's not usually going to be that straightforward for us. We're going to have variables thrown in there like an x, a y, or a z. So I could have a similar equation that looks like this. X equals 4. That's still just saying the same thing though. That's saying whatever is on this side of the equal sign is the exact same value or quantity as what's on this side. So if you knew that Mr. Rao had X goats and you were given that X equals 4, you would know that I have 4 goats. Same exact principle. We can also do operations to equations though. And what are the operations? That's the 6 things we can do to numbers. And we know this just from school growing up. We know that we can add numbers. We know that we can subtract numbers. We know that we can multiply numbers and we can divide numbers. Those are the 4 main operations that we're most familiar with. But we might also know that we can take numbers to powers. So for example, I could have a number and I could square it. That means that I'm just multiplying a number by itself. I could have a number and I could cube it or raise it to the 3rd power. That means the same thing, only this time I'm multiplying that number by itself 3 times. And the last operation is we can take the roots of numbers. And that's essentially, if I take the square root of a number, I'm thinking what number times itself equals that original number. I can take other roots though. I could take the 3rd root, for example. And it's the same thing. It's thinking what number times itself 3 times would equal that original number. So those are the 6 operations, and we can use those with equations. So I could start here with this known. I know that x equals 4. And I can build on that by using those 6 operations. So for example, I could maybe add 3 to x. So I'm using the property or the operation of addition here by adding 3 to x. But if I wanted to keep this true, this statement that x equals 4 true, I can't say this equals 4 anymore, because if I added 3 to x, I must also have added 3 to 4. So x plus 3 then, in this case, would be 7. So that's all an equation is. It's a statement that says two quantities are equal to each other, and we can build on them and kind of create different equations by just using those 6 operations.